To the board for a 3-year term.
I second that. Any discussion?
Yes, it was nice to see that Mr. Caxton was not scared away by Jason Grove's emails. I, for one, was glad to see him survive that. You know what I'm talking about. Sending him the lawsuits and all that. Just seemed pretty reprehensible to me. That's my comment.
Do we have a discussion? I think, again, James is willing to be out there in the forefront. And I really loved hearing about his excitement. He was like, we can do this, we can bring this, we can make this connection. Just his energy was just fantastic. So I was very excited by that. So. All in favor?
Aye.
So I would entertain a motion to nominate Arvine to the board. Dr. Arvine.
I move to nominate Dr. Arthur Bean to the board for a 3-year term.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's funny when you get to these things and I'm very torn in terms of your comment, Gordon, because I think sometimes those comments can be divisive. But every one of our candidates for nomination to the board has been contacted, encouraged to think twice about it, and sent this lawsuit. And I am glad that they have the courage and fortitude to continue and to step forward to assist in education. But I have to also say that I am deeply distressed, actually, with this type of behavior. I think that when people are willing to step forward into a nonprofit world and volunteer their time, that they should be respected for their ability to make their own decisions, to work for something they believe in, and to do so without that kind of negative input. And I think that Amanda has been such a great example, really, in terms of, even while we may disagree, she has had the fortitude to come to every meeting, to pay attention to what happens, to be upfront with her commentary, and to basically sign it. And I think to speak to people who are trying to make a decision to support a school of all things, and encourage them not to because of threat of a lawsuit that has very little to do with the school and its education, I think is really a very, very sad reflection. That would be my only comment on that. And it is equally great that Dr. Bean is not the type to be easily put off when he believes in something.
I do think that that is a requirement of coming on this board. You gotta walk around with bulletproof vest and be very comfortable with people yelling at you and screaming at you, telling you they're the worst person in the world. So I think that nobody would want to step on the board. We've certainly met people who have a lot of criteria, but they're not willing to do that. And that's not for everybody. So. Anyways, all in favor? So that crosses off number 9 on our list, I believe. I do also think, as a member of the trustees, I will also, as a committee on trustees, mention that we are looking at other candidates to further strengthen our board. We're required to get certain requirements met by this date. We've met that requirement, but we are going to continue to add other board members as well that have not necessarily the strength that have been listed on the commissioner, but additional strengths that we also see as leading on the board. So we continue to develop the board as we go. approve my agenda. So, Tony, I need a little clarity on number 2 on the agenda. Legal counsel has addressed that issue, as I understand it.
Sorry, let me just read it.
Yeah, take your time.
That's correct. So I don't believe it actually requires
There's
any.
nothing the board needs to do, I
No.
believe.
Correct.
Well, it does say the board will consider whether any further action is required.
This had to do with whether because of the request of the Inspector General's office to meet and at this time when this was produced, there had been no further communication from the Inspector General with regard to that request for a meeting. And I believe at this point the Inspector General has been in touch with council, so we just need to, I think, wait for further recommendations from council at this point.
Okay.
So no further
So
action.
the big item for tonight is, the first item listed on the agenda, by November 24th, first must approve, I'll read it again, must attain approval by the Attorney General's office of a compliance plan addressing the school's violation of, well,
The competitive bidding.
the competitive bidding. I can do GL 49, 44A, 44M, GL C7, 38, 38O, and GL 149, as listed on the agenda. As described in the Attorney General's letter of September 15th and September 22nd, as indicated by the Attorney General in his letter dated September 22nd, such plan must address at a minimum bids on remaining construction work, a promise of an actual compliance with the public construction bidding and prevailing wage laws, a commitment to file frequent reports with the AGO regarding such compliance, a training plan for the school's administrative board of trustees regarding public construction bidding laws, procurement of goods and services, an amendment to the school's current lease to ensure that the school's landlord are bound by the school's obligations under its compliance plan. And that piece, as I understand it, we're moving to December 15th. And other remedial measures as required by the Attorney General's office. So at this time, we need to review and consideration of the proposed lease amendment and proposal from the Office of the Attorney General to include a review of the AG's final judgment by consent, future implications for the school, for the board, and next steps. So I want to make sure everybody has time to read this. I was saying it was emailed late in the day, only because council has worked very hard, I believe, with the Attorney General's office to come up with an agreement. This is a process that's been going on for quite some time. And this is the document with its final revisions. So does anyone need time to look it over, or does everyone have a chance to do that? It's a fairly important document, so I want to make sure that we're all clear about what it says. We're not all sitting in silence, let me know when you're ready. So, an hour goes by and we're still sitting here.
I assume we're using an old black copy by this one, aren't
No.
we? There is a
Well-
black copy that has all those brand new paragraphs.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
And I thought that was the latest.
That
The
is.
other one's all updated, but then you have to subtract some of them. You know, yeah. Should we make a motion?
yes. So I will entertain a motion, I don't know, Tony, are you ready? I don't want to rush you. but-
Sure, yeah.
Karen would- Yeah, okay. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to, I'm going to say sign the final judgment by consent from the Attorney General's office. By signing this, we agree with the document as written.
Amy, just as a point of order, I think maybe a motion should be, the motion would be for the board to authorize Tony to sign
Yes.
this document.
Actually, not under the most
The
recent.
new one is the chair.
It's the chair.
I think it's much easier to see.
Okay.
I thought we just vote to sign that.
I'm not making a motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a recent change there, Tony?
Yes.
If there's a motion
To authorize.
Are you making that motion, Dave? Is anyone making any motion?
I'll make that motion that the board
Say it.
to authorize the chair to sign the consent. Is this called a consent decree?
consent judgment.
Hold on, the title here is final judgment by consent. So I would use what's written as this.
I second that.
Discussion.
I'm sure it's Amy.
Yes.
Okay, discussion?
I have a thing or two to say about this, yes.
Go for it, Dave.
But I don't want to monopolize the floor. If other people have something that they'd like to say, pro or con. I think we've received a new draft of this that we spent a good deal of time on Saturday morning and into the afternoon discussing the nuances of language that might be changed to make this agreement workable. Our legal counsel took some of those recommendations and has worked with the Attorney General's office to try to come up with this final document that would be workable to both parties. And there are some instances in here where I think the effort to include new language was accepted, and then there are cases in here where it was not accepted. I think the most significant point in terms of the